The words innovation and opportunity are words that we get to use either interchangeably or sometimes we use them in isolation. But the question is, at what points do they intersect? These and many more questions get to run in our minds whenever we use such sentences or such statements in a sentence. But the truth is, we found an answer today. Welcome to the Silicon Podcast right here on the Plateau. And the Plateau is very, very important and very dear to many of us, wherever you're watching from. I'm sure the Plateau is somewhere that you have a vision for. And there's been this vision for a very long time to make Plateau State, I mean, to make JOS the premier digital destination. Well, the truth is, we've got an answer right here because we have someone who would help us um, to know where the intersection is and how we can definitely chart a course to make Plateau State, to make JOS the premier digital destination. And there's no other person that would help us answer this question but the Director General of PICTDA. We have Engineer Dominic Datton. Good to have you, sir.
Thank you. Very excited to be part of this.
We are as excited as you are, and that is why the energy in the room is one that is very, very exciting. But let's get to diving into the crux of the matter. Each time we get to hear the word silicon, so many people have different meanings to it, from the etymological meaning. But this time around, let's look at the definition, the key definition of Silicon Plateau Initiative.
Okay, thank you so much. The Silicon Plateau Initiative is an initiative that wants to mimic the Silicon Valley. And it's a technology value chain from the learning to the production to the scaling and also exports of talents or materials that are produced from the Silicon Plateau. And it has a geographic coverage of the whole of Plateau State, not just JOS, because we want to provide opportunities for people of the Plateau, whether you are in the rural area or in the urban area. So I think this is the simple definition of what our vision for Silicon Plateau is.
All right. You made mention of opportunities, creating opportunities for everyone, both those who are in urban areas and those who are in, what we'll call the countryside. So, but the question will remain, how? I mean, because it's not just enough for us to know that, oh, there's a beautiful plan. It should be broken, and we should know how.
Okay, we have quite a lot of talents here within the Plateau. The industry has been training a lot of people, all over the state. But Plateau, just like Nigeria or Africa, we are locked in a circle of learning. And you get to see people that say, oh, I know how to do A, B, C, D, but do it. The enabling environment is not there. So what we are trying to do is to move out of that circle of learning into the circle of production, so that whatever talents that we have, we use it to create solutions that are going to impact on our lives. It's also important also to bring up new persons into the industry, so learning will continue. It's not as if you're going to put it at the background. And it's going to be not just government driving it, but government providing the enabling environment to ensure that the private sector thrives on it. Because the private sector is the one that has the real engine for the growth, and government needs to support. So being on the government side, I am on the side of the support, but it's a whole ecosystem of different players that we have to get their energies together in order to forge ahead.
All right. You made mention of ecosystem as you were talking. Lots of follow-up questions were just running through my mind, through in my head, but I wanted you to be able to land on your line of thoughts. So when you talk about ecosystem, what exactly are you talking about this time around?
So the ecosystem is more of the players in the value chain. That's the value chain is a whole industry, but every part of it that creates value within the industry. So in the value chain, you have the learning, you have the production. In the case of ICT, mostly what comes to people's minds is software production.
Of course.
You also have startups. We have people that accelerate them and scale them to provide bigger solutions across the world. So in that case, the ecosystem includes all players that are within those industries. One, the individual himself. Two, the hubs that are spread all across the state. The tertiary institutions, who are also a very important part of this, because there are a lot of people that have ideas who are locked up in the universities, polytechnics, and others. And of course, the companies themselves, who provide the environment where people either learn or they have facilities to produce different applications or hardware for use by the people.
Tired of juggling multiple apps for your money? Meet Liquify, your all-in-one financial companion. Access loans at the most competitive interest rate to handle emergency. Spend globally using our virtual card service on all your favorite platforms. We let your money go borderless using stablecoin cryptocurrency to access global markets. We provide safe investment options backed by government financial instruments designed for long-term wealth creation. Easily spend your stablecoin on everyday needs like airtime, data, and bill payments, all in one secure app. Liquify, money that moves with you, coming soon. Join the waitlist at liquify.com.
All right. So, in defining the ecosystem, you actually divided them into subcategories, starting from the individual down to, you made mention of the institutions and all. It shows that, like any other place in the world, or like any other place in Nigeria and Africa, talents are bound. Yeah, and there are lots of them within the digital ecosystem on the plateau. Now, the question is, where these people get training, we now have lots of them. Now, there is a missing link. When we have lots of people, lots of players, but no platform, no pitch, no what you said you're representing the government side. So what are you doing to help someone, a creative, a digital creative in his room, to connect, to scale up, like you mentioned, connect to the bigger players?
Okay, so this is not just one of those stories that normally people will say government tells about events or initiatives that they do, because the governor is extremely interested in this. In fact, it's his own initiative.
Wow, that's beautiful.
He wants to ensure that Plateau State becomes the technology destination for Nigeria. A lot of people that have skills here in the States, at the end of the day, move out to other locations to, provide value in other economies.
So
What?
why is this exodus?
Yeah, because we've not been able to harness the industry. So I think what the Silicon initiative is going to do, Silicon Plateau initiative is going to do, is to harness all these talents together to ensure that we have a targeted objective that everybody is aware of, and then wherever it is that you are working, wherever it is that you're working within the value chain, you'll know that this is the target, and every other person is also working towards that objective. So what this differs is that we have a willing governor that is very willing to support it. Actually, at the moment, there is an initiative already, of course, in conjunction with private sector.
Okay.
There's a partnership we are going into already with a business process outsourcing company in Abuja.
Okay.
Hopefully within the next 3 to 6 months, we're starting up a business process outsourcing center within Jos here.
Okay.
It's going to employ about 1,800 people.
Wow.
And it's a way to mop up some of the talents within that you're talking about.
Of course.
To provide value. While we may not have the jobs here, but the world has become a very small village because of the interconnectivity, internet, and so on. Places like America, there are some jobs that may be too expensive for them to give somebody in America, because there is their hourly payment may be like 10 times that of somebody in Plateau. Cost of living, of course, is cheaper here. So he will prefer to, outsource some of the talents or some of his jobs to the talents here on the plateau. And that is how we're going to project people outside, for them to be able to earn, income from other economies while they're sitting here on the plateau.
Okay, beautiful. You made mention of, for example, someone in the United States of America wanting to reach out to someone here for reasons being that, the cost of living is relatively, affordable here than there, and of course want to expand into the African economy. But that person will also look at quality. So what is the quality of talents that we have here? And that would depend on the kind of training. So how many persons are you training? Because from what I researched, that you are also ready to train about 100,000 youth. If not, please tell us more about it.
So over time, we're going to have a large need for different types of talents. And we must, not as government, but as the ecosystem, work towards providing that number of talents. You can see that for one partnership that we are having, we're going to employ about 1,800 people, 600 per shift. So you can understand that if we have 2, 3, 4 of this, already we're running into 5,000. And being a destination for business process outsourcing, which is a $280 billion industry, it's something that we have to get ourselves serious about it and ensure that we train people in order to meet up with the demand. One strategic advantage that we have in Nigeria, Africa, and also Plateau is that our English is very, very clear to a lot of people.
Yes.
But right now, the source of business process outsourcing now is Singapore, India, and the way our English is
Of
compared
course.
to those of those guys. So that alone gives us a basis, to compete favorably. And then if you look at the source of, I mean, the requesters of those services are mostly America, the UK. The UK is good already because we have the same time zone.
Yes.
So you can actually wake up in the morning, work with them. At the same time, you close with them and so on. Of course, there are companies that work 24 hours. Yeah. America, the closest time zone, America has like 6 time zones or so.
Of course.
Yeah. And the closest time zone is about 8 hours. But we are resilient. We can also work in the night. So we're fine with that. And then, of course, our weather here is very wonderful. We have good internet communication, at least into Jos, fiber to the place where we are looking at using. Actually, we are going to work with MTN. If you remember the call center,
yes,
which already has a lot of equipment and whatever that is used for this kind of service, that's where we are hoping to start working. So we have everything already that fitting in place to have such a system ongoing.
So it is said that a country that has no law would definitely have no offense. And you clearly mentioned that, this initiative is going to be private sector driven. But there's a need for legislation. So what are you doing? What is your office doing in terms of legislation, protection of rights and all? Let's get to talk about it.
Okay, so currently we are working on a policy, the ICT policy, that will assist in this area. And one of the pillars of this policy is job creation, and to ensure that we provide the real enabling environment for people, rather than us to be the main actors. We stay at the back end to ensure that people that have talents are protected within the industry. People that produce goods and services, when government needs it, they are prioritized, and also even to ensure that lots of public places, forced in quotes to provide certain services. If you go to places like the UK, the US, everywhere you go, I mean, every organization you go, there's internet. So that helps you to be more productive. Meaning, if you go to a restaurant to eat, you may be able to respond to an email while waiting for your meal. But here, the places you go to, there's no internet. Your phone doesn't work because probably the walls are too hard for penetration into the building. So such policies will actually ensure that the whole system, keys into it, including government. So if, for example, one of our targets, you cannot build a public area without providing internet, high-speed internet. So if government is providing a public space, they have to provide internet. That would be basic. So it's the same as when you have people in there's a law about disability.
Yes.
When you're building, you must provide some facilities.
Yes.
If it's a high building, you need to have a ramp,
Yes.
and so on. So we are going to ensure that policy in the moment, because laws take a while before they are approved. But in policy, we will ensure that is entrenched into the policy.
Okay, that's also beautiful, because you just caught me on that, because I was going to give example
Great.
of Lagos State, having public spaces where people can use internet and all of that. And I know that with that also comes PECs, because people's data, can be easily stolen, can be logged into their phones and all of that protection and all of that. But like you mentioned that, you will come with policies that would support. Now, let's get to talk about government itself. How compliant is government and technology? You go to different ministries and all of that. Technology is meant to make our lives easier. So, what are you doing in regard to that?
Okay, within government, we are gradually adopting technology. Before the coming of His Excellency, there was no ministry, department, or agency that has internet. None, including the government house.
Wow.
Yes, I can tell you that. But the governor has provided internet connectivity, not just in the government house, old government house, extended to ministries, departments, and agencies, and we're trying to grow it. It's not just internet, because for every office that is connected to the network, which we provide internet over, it's able to communicate with the others that are already in the network. So we're building a network that will enable internal communication between all government agencies. At the moment, in some ministries within the secretariat, you can just pick up your call and call the government house, your phone, and call the government house on your table, and talk from morning till night.
Wow.
At no cost, because we have enabled that. There are quite a bit of applications that we're building that will enable, government to operate easily. Things around transparency, which international organizations always want to hear about. Things about education. Currently, we already have an application that manages all schools.
Wow, it's beautiful.
On a dashboard, you'll be able to see the number of children in your village, how many children are there, and not just a number, but you can actually see them by name. And they can also log onto the application actually by themselves to do stuff like checking their results and so on. I mean, there are quite a number of things that in each of the fields we have to, take like an hour to really talk about the intervention in those areas. So we're adopting it, and people normally think they are not IT savvy. It's when you give them an application that you know that, oh, okay, so this guy could actually use this. And as I said earlier, we are locked in a circle of learning. You understand? We never do. But now is the doing stage. I remember early in the year we had a promotion exam.
Okay.
That everybody took online, including drivers.
Wow.
Who are thought to be like at the lower levels. They took online exams. Ordinarily, somebody would say, oh, we need to train them before they, but these are guys that have they do transactions on their phones, banking transactions. They respond to messages on WhatsApp and so on. So what makes it different from an exam, for example? There's nothing different from that. So we're harnessing what people already know to ensure that we achieve that technological advancement that we want in our daily lives.
So we need to give it to His Excellency, because, like you said, his vision is to make Plateau State not just a tourist destination, but a digital destination. And we have seen, for example, when you talked about ministry, I know for Ministry of Lands and Survey, you don't even need to be there. You can do everything from the comfort of your home. So we give that to the government. But still talking about doing things easily without you visiting all those and all of that. How have you been able to translate what we are having in the Ministry of Lands and Survey to other ministries? Because we still see people carry files. Yeah.
Yeah, so even what is happening in the Ministry of Lands, it's still not good enough for us.
Wow.
We want to be able to extend services to your home, and also expand the scale of services, because government wants to get money, of course.
Definitely.
And that's the source of revenue. If you want to buy a piece of land and you need to make some searches personally, you should be able to go online and do it. But these days, it might not be possible. So there are a range of things that have been automated already, but still, there are lots of opportunities in that. You may have forgotten to mention the Internal Revenue Service.
Yes, that's
the Internal Revenue Service also is to a certain high degree automated, because there are lots of things that you can pay online without having to go there to meet them. However, while the Internal Revenue collects these revenues or payments for whatever, we need to have the MDAs also provide portals that are seamless, that they read from each other, right? If I come to pay for a certain service, it should be possible for the system as an application to know that I'm being provided that service. If I'm not being provided the service already, I should be created on the service so that the next time I'm coming, I don't have to, start filling another form and so on, because I'm already there. And if there's another person that may use my service in order to provide another service, when I go to that office, they should not be registering me again because there's a bucket of my data resident in another ministry or department of government. So those interconnection between applications and so on are things that you are working on to ensure that we provide, which will help you to have the self-service portals. So every organization that adopts technology does not get it in one day. First of all, it's a lot of money, and then also you don't shock people with technology, right? You're used to your motorbike from Mangu to Bukuru every day. They pick you and put you in an airplane, and there's a shock normally. So halfway you start panicking as you're taking off, and so it's the same thing with technology. We don't want to shock people with technology. So sometimes you have things going parallel, and then at the end of the day, when we see that we've provided enough value, people understand it better, then we can cut off some of them and discourage the use of walk-in.
Sending money home without losing half to fees.
Paying my bills before the deadline every time.
Investing in my future and not just surviving today.
Having a backup when emergency hits.
One app that just works.
Thousands of people are already on the wait list.
Liquify.
Build for us, build by us. Your spot is waiting.
In Jaws, I don't know. I've lost count of the hubs that we have. How important are these hubs? And sometimes it looks like, oh, are they really doing anything? Because you just get to see people, lots of young people there every day, people carrying laptops, digital phones, and all of that. Are you working with them? And what's government's plans for these hubs?
So they are as unimportant as they may seem to be. They are actually the engine of growth. Without them, government cannot do anything. They've been able to train lots of people. Every hub you go, they give you, statistics on what they have done yearly. They've held international programs where people from all across West Africa, I know some of them that have done that already. They've done quite a bit in that area. But as you said, we need to refocus. We need to know each one of them, what they do, how they do it. That's when we will know where we need to come as supporters of this. So currently, as part of the Silicon Plateau initiative, we're already gathering data on them. They also will feel, of course, that we, government and them, are actually on the same, page, because we are going to know who you are, where you are, what you do, how many people you are employing, the kind of expertise that you have in your hub, and so on. So that's while they're doing individually things, wonderfully, we want to do things now with pinpoint accuracy. If we, for example, if Plateau wants to major in cybersecurity, we'll put our energy on cybersecurity because there are like a million and one things to do. But it's the industry that will take a decision about that, not pronouncement of government. And that will help us to refocus and know ourselves very well.
Okay.
And the time is now.
The time is now. I just wanted to ask if you're supporting hubs too.
Yes, we do a lot of support. I know when people talk about support, it's what comes to mind is actually money.
Yes, the financial part.
But I think support normally goes beyond money. It goes up to talking to them on their applications. I get lots of people coming around to show me, this is what I'm doing. How can I get help in even doing it better? So we go through it and we point them to, this area, why don't you do it this way? Why don't you do it this way? And sometimes we also go out of our way to even get people that may invest into the solutions. I talked about the education management information system. It was actually built here on the Plateau.
Great.
The design was done in conjunction with the Plateau State ICT Development Agency, and it was built for the state. And I'll tell you that he has been engaged by at least 3 states to do the same thing for them, as at last week that I talked with him. So creating such enabling environment ensures that, signifies support. So we may not give you money because it's actually very difficult to really filter out whom we should give money, whom we should not give. Even though there's the Startup Act, which is a national bill, a national law that we are looking at adopting in the state. That has not come into limelight yet, but it's there with the House of Assembly. That also has its financial, support mechanism that goes through to the federal government. So support, yes, maybe not financially at the moment, but we provide them enabling environment to better their products and services, and also to give them linkages to other potential customers and investors.
All right. So just before I allow you go, most people, one of the things that we have been talking about is the forthcoming election. whether there can be electronic transmission immediately as so what are we doing, on the plateau to empower um, Plasec? Maybe one of these hubs, maybe they might just have that solution to have electronic transmission. Do you see that happening on the plateau? Since this is a big vision, if that could be implemented at the local government elections, it makes people look at plateau.
So the governor doesn't talk much.
Yes.
Let me call his name, Barrister Caleb Manasseh Mutfwang, for the record.
Yes.
Right. He doesn't talk. He doesn't shout, and somehow it's bad for us because Plateau State.
But I think it's also good because
it's really not good.
They might be work without results, but there will never be results without work.
Yeah, so let's talk
work.
it. Let's talk it when we do it.
Okay.
But he has his style of doing things.
All right.
Plateau State has been the first. You can do your research if there is a first that went electronic during the local government elections. And I will tell you that we did it with the minimal cost possible. Because I remember when the plans were going on to do that, the Plasec went to INEC to get the BVAS device. It was not possible to get it. The second option was to start buying. It was extremely costly. And, for the governor, if you bring a big bill, no, he wants to do roads for people and so on. So what we were left with was the bring your own device, BIOD approach, where people that went to the various polling units actually took data of everybody of that in that polling unit on their phones. And that was how it was possible to do verification. What did they call it? The first verification, the one they do before the election, accreditation of voters. This is the first time ever that the governor wants to be so transparent that you want to have the data, verifiable data of people that are being accredited, which normally tallies or should tally with the votes that are cast at the end of the day. So the technology is already there. Even though I know we had quite a bit of some issues because of internet bandwidth, but we've learned lessons from that, and already, if we are going to use the same system, if getting devices are a constraint, at the end of the day, we'll still go back to bring your own devices, and we will overcome that. Yeah.
It's been beautiful talking to you, but I still want you to say something to one person who is watching right now. Like, when he hears or she hears about Plato's Silicon Initiative, what is the future? What is that one thing?
You said I should say to one person. Mr. One person. We are here for a very serious business. Your knowledge is what sells you. There is no man in this one. If you have knowledge about whatever that the industry is looking for, you will be used. If you don't have knowledge or skill in that area, you will be dropped. So go and get some skills, so that tomorrow when we're looking for a certain skill, you have it. Or else we are definitely leaving you behind. Thank you.
All right. Go get knowledge, because it is very, very important, because that is what is going to be the new currency. It's been an amazing time with you, sir. Thank you for
sir.
coming around.
Thank
We'll see
you,
you
sir.
on the next one. Bye.